The government of India's focus on renewable energy stands very strong, and our country has set some ambitious target of 500 gigawatts for 2030. Our shift to clean energy is no longer just a trend, but the transition cannot happen overnight, and it certainly won't be smooth without strong government support. We need a comprehensive energy transition policy to accelerate the transition while also making energy security of the country strong. So with the Union Budget 2025 just around the corner, here is what the analysts believe and industry wants for the renewable energy sector. Let's first start with 5 key expectations. This is spread across various subsegments of renewable or clean energy. The first key expectation is higher capital allocation for the PM Surya Ghar Bijli Yojana scheme in FY26. The current allocation stands at 75,021 crores in order to install 1 crore household rooftop installations. More support for this program can benefit players like Tata Power, Warrior Renewable Tech and Adani Green Energy. Next, Jeffries awaits tweets on duties on solar modules and cells. Positive policies in this area could benefit Warrior Energies and Premier Energies. The third key expectation is for higher budgetary support for offshore wind energy. Carriage ratings note that incentives for project cost funding, larger turbines, as well as mandatory sourcing from distribution companies could help the space. The need comes due to low developer interest in offshore wind, despite the 6,853 crore viability gap funding scheme announced last year. The major driver for the low interest is the 2.5 times higher setup cost for offshore wind projects when compared to onshore projects. The fourth key expectation is for battery energy storage, an ecosystem that is key for 24/7 power supply. Nuvama expects the government to take measures for energy storage technologies. Carriage Ratings, on the other hand, notes that how domestic battery energy storage ecosystem can benefit from initial subsidy support via a PLI or viability gap funding schemes. The rating agency also adds how tax for crucial raw material imports can help adoption. Furthermore, it is key to note that media reports have noted a budget proposal which has been sent to the Finance Ministry, and this proposal includes a mandate for developers to establish battery storage facilities. The fifth expectation is for higher fund allocation for green hydrogen over and above the SIDE program. Current production costs for green hydrogen are not comparable despite government efforts, and this needs to be addressed. Nuvama also expects mandates for the use of green hydrogen, ammonia in key sectors like steel, refineries, fertilizers, and more. The government could also implement blending green methanol with petrol in transportation and other sectors by providing incentives for producers. This would help consumers adopt the fuel. And lastly, we also spoke to different companies operating in the space, so here's the industry wish list. As per Warrior Energy CFO, expansion of rooftop solar programs to increase adoption remains key. The company also mentioned how anti-dumping duties for solar modules and cells is critical to diversify and indigenize the supply chain and mitigate any short-term price fluctuations. Warrior Energies also notes how an increase of export subsidies on renewables from 1% to 5% will be a significant boost to the sector. Apollo Green Energy notes how the budget should address the need for modernizing infrastructure as the current grid stands outdated and ill-equipped to handle growing demands. Renew Power states that the budget needs to introduce focused funding for green skilling to ensure that India's workforce is prepared for the clean energy transition. And lastly, manager of O2 Power, which was recently acquired by JSW Energy, states how extending the conventional 15% tax rate under Section 115 BAB by 5 years would be a significant boost for the sector. The company's CFO also noted how the industry needs long-term financing challenges which have to be addressed. Well, that was what analysts expect from the budget 2025 for the renewable sector and what the industry wants. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit.